Turkey, of course, has also had its experience in fighting insurgencies and terrorism.
Strengthening ties with Turkey towards a safer Nigeria tops discussion as President Buhari meets with his Turkish counterpart.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
Also tonight, President Buhari makes it to the last step of the septuagenarian ladder.
When I came on board, I felt they are the needy, they are the less privileged in the police family, so I carried them along.
POA donates to spouses of police personnel in the battlefield. Hello and welcome to NTA Network News. I am Ian Ray. John Adeola Komiakere joins me from Lagos. Thank you for joining us. In furtherance of sustained efforts at achieving a safer and more stable Nigeria for a sustainable future, the federal government is partnering more effectively with the Republic of Turkey to once and for all control and contain the current challenges of security bedeviling the nation. This came to light when President Muhammadu Buhari engaged his Turkish counterpart, Recep Tayyip Erdogan, on the margins of the third Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit. State House correspondent Adam Musambo brings us details.
It was a warm welcome for President Muhammadu Buhari by his Turkish counterpart Tayyip Erdogan on arrival at Dolmabahce Palace for talks on areas of common interest. This is the second time the two leaders are meeting in less than 3 months, as President Erdogan was in Abuja late October this year, where several agreements were signed to deepen relations between Nigeria and Turkey. This latest engagement, shortly before the Turkey-Africa Partnership Summit, is to further concretize on the agreements reached and perhaps hasten delivery, especially on matters of security.
Turkey, of course, has also had its experience in fighting insurgencies and terrorism, and so willing to share experiences and also to look at the possibility of also providing weaponry. We hope to see the Nigerian military being able to acquire some weaponry in the fight against terrorism. The Navy, for instance, has some pending orders, with the Turkish military industrial complex, and so finalizing those agreements is also something that was on the agenda.
Discussions between the two leaders also centered on education, health, infrastructure, and most especially economy, in fulfillment of the Turkish leaders' promise to increase the volume of trade between Nigeria and its country to $5 billion.
It's clear from the engagements between the two leaders that the relationship between Nigeria and Turkey is deep. It's based on trust, based on proximity, based on history, and based on the willingness to have mutually beneficial engagements between the peoples of the two countries. Now, for me, I see prosperity. I see heightened activity between the two countries. I see greater partnership between the two countries. We are trying to bring together the business community between either here in Turkey or in Nigeria, for them to look at the definite incentives that exist on both sides in order for us to achieve the desired trade volume that the two presidents have outlined.
Both President Buhari and the Turkish leader promised to speedily endorse recommendations now being awaited from relevant ministers and officials from the two countries for implementation. From Istanbul, Turkey, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And it is no longer news that President Muhammadu Buhari is in faraway Istanbul, the Republic of Turkey, on a 4-day official engagement. What some people might not be aware, however, is that while away from home, the Nigerian leader clocked 79 this Friday. But did he celebrate? Only the State House correspondent Adam Musambu, who is on the president's entourage, can tell us.
President Muhammadu Buhari had no inkling whatsoever regarding what was in the offing as he steps out for the day's first official engagement.
Happy birthday, Mr. President. Happy birthday to you.
It is not in the president's character to celebrate birthdays, and therefore the ministers, some senior government officials and presidential aides on his delegation had to lay an ambush.
Hip, hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray!
Given his military background, the president hates surprises, but seeing the familiar faces around, he could not help joining the party.
To have conspired to remind me how old I am. Okay, thank you very much for all that you have said. I assure you that I'm eager for 2023 to come. So that I can retire to my farm. Thank you very much.
Foreign Affairs Minister Geoffrey Onyama, who spoke on behalf of the presidential appointees, congratulated the president on the milestone achieved, wishing him many happy returns.
You have managed to travel to about 10 countries in the last 3 months. Not sure where you get that energy from, but clearly we can see that with time you're getting even stronger. As all around you are falling down, catching COVID, you have stood firm. COVID is even afraid to come anywhere near you. So we pray all together, Your Excellency, that Almighty God will continue to give you strength, to give you good health, to give you the great wisdom that you have, and wish you all the very, very best.
For me, it was an epoch-making event in my career as ambassador to have the opportunity of hosting the president during his birthday. Of course, we felicitate with the president, a great leader, an inspiring leader, and somebody who deeply cares about Nigeria.
So how does it feel working with the president at this time?
Yeah, it's the job is made easy because he provides the needed leadership, the needed direction. So it makes our jobs as diplomats very, very easy. You know, the objectives are clearly defined, resources are provided, and then, of course, the direction is aptly given.
All things being equal, President Muhammadu Buhari has one more birthday to celebrate as sitting president of Nigeria. From Istanbul, Turkey, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Congratulations to the president. Meanwhile, the Federal Executive Council, FEC, felicitates with the president and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Muhammadu Buhari, as he turned 79. In a statement signed by Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, FEC wishes the president many more years of good health in order to be able to provide exemplary and quality leadership for the country, while building a sustainable future for the teeming youth. The council prays God to grant the president wisdom in handling affairs of the nation, particularly at this time, and enjoins Nigerians to give their unalloyed support to the government as it strives to bequeath an enduring legacy to future generations. The Northern Governors Forum has also felicitated with President Muhammadu Buhari on his 79th birthday. Chairman of the forum and Governor of Plateau State, Simon Bako Lalong, in a statement described the president as a man of integrity and leader with patriotic zeal to develop the nation and secure the future for the younger generation. Lalong said the president has, in the last 6 years, confronted very many challenging situations that sought to threaten the unity and peace of the country, such as insecurity, poverty, corruption, poor infrastructure, among others, with high successes. The forum also expressed the support by Mr. President and synergy with the federal government in dealing with some of the socio-economic challenges which are being substantially contained. The forum wished the president many more years of good health and wisdom and urged him to remain steadfast and committed to giving his best in the service of the nation. The federal government says it will continue to collaborate with states in their efforts towards promotion of micro, small and medium enterprises operating in the country. This assurance was given by Vice President Yemi Osinbajo during the inauguration of a shared facility for the furniture industry in Benin, Edo State. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports that the Vice President also performed a groundbreaking ceremony of the Edo Technology Park. His report.
Edo State has multiple endowments and comparative advantages, which naturally position it to be leader in the furniture and timber production business. Situating the shared facility in Edo is therefore a right move, which is a collaboration of the federal government and the state government.
There's a plan to ensure that wherever we find a state that is willing to cooperate, a state that is forward-looking and prepared to provide this type of facilities, we are ready and able to support. And I'd like to say to His Excellency, the Governor, that we are prepared to support all of our efforts to ensure that these shared facilities or any other facilities for the government of MSMEs is attended to as quickly and as efficiently as possible.
Governor of the state, Godwin Obaseki, says 36 micro, small and medium enterprises operators have been captured in the state's database and are being supported.
We share your passion, sir, in encouraging local production because it is the only way to go if we are going to accelerate growth in our economy, drive down poverty and create more jobs. The establishment of production hubs and the supporting MSME clinics such as this by your office has been a key driver for job creation in our country.
The state is also planning to expand the shared facilities already in existence. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo also spends about half an hour interacting with the graduating students of the state-owned technology park. The state is aiming to producing 1,500 software developers annually. The Vice President also performs a groundbreaking ceremony at the permanent site of the technology park in Benin. Jide Onifade, NTA News.
And still on the economy, the African Development Bank has approved a loan of $170 million to finance digital and creative enterprises program in Nigeria. The investment in digital and creative enterprises program is the federal government of Nigeria initiative to promote investment in digital and creative industries. It is part of Nigeria's efforts to build back better, greener and more inclusively to create sustainable jobs for the timid youthful population. The bank says the program targets more than 68 million Nigerians between the age of 15 and 35 years who are promoters of innovative, early-stage and technology-enabled startups or leaders of creative industry, micro, small and medium-sized enterprises, innovation hubs, accelerators, venture capital and private equity firms. The program is co-financed by Agence Française Development, AFD, and the Islamic Development Bank, ISDB. And on security, in the continued effort to find a lasting solution to the security challenges in the Northwest, state directors of security from the geopolitical zone met in Katsina to strengthen intelligence gathering and sharing. Governor Aminu Bello Masari, who declared the fourth quarter zonal security conference open, emphasized the need for the participants to adopt more strategies towards addressing the security challenges in some parts of the region.
The zonal conference of the state directors of security is for information sharing within on challenges of kidnapping, banditry and other associated crimes. Special advisor on security to Katsina State Governor Ibrahim Ahmed Katsina urged the security operatives to develop a workable plan that will usher in a sustainable peace and security. Katsina State Governor Aminu Bello Masari, who traced the history of banditry in the north back to 100 years, called for determination and resilience from the security operatives to address the challenge.
Whatever it takes to bring the situation under control. Before you can dominate the space, you have to have control.
Various stakeholders emphasized the importance of the forum towards evolving strategies that will assist in ensuring peace and security.
Meanwhile, 500 spouses of police personnel on special duties in parts of the country have received food items from the wife of the Inspector General of Police, Hajara Akali Baba. This, she says, is the IGP's way of showing love to the families of personnel in the battlefield. Francis Fong reports.
Spouses of police personnel in the battlefield across the country showing appreciation to the wife of the IGP for the donation of 50 kg bags of rice and tinned tomatoes to celebrate Christmas. The women, who are full of gratitude, admit they've never had it so good.
I don't expect this. To feel 1,000 of women today, in fact, we are so grateful. We are very happy today because our mommy have wiped all our tears.
This is one of its kind. When you are at home, the husbands are on the battlefield. Most of them have gone for special duty. We just received a call to come with this thing. There is nothing we want to tell the IG wife, but we want to tell her God will bless her.
And for the IGP's wife, the distribution of the food items is in solidarity with the steps taken by the police personnel to keep the country safe.
So when I came on board, I felt they are the needy, they are the less privileged in the police family, so I carry them along.
Hajara Al-Khali further pledges for continuous support to the welfare of spouses of policemen in the battlefield towards boosting their morale. Francis from NTA News.
Sultan assures commitment to COVID-19 vaccination. Details after these messages. Please stay. Thank you for staying. The federal government's efforts to end misconception around COVID-19 vaccination has received a boost, with the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar III, promising support of northern traditional leaders to strengthen the campaign and get more Nigerians vaccinated. This was at a fourth quarter review meeting of Northern Traditional Leaders Committee in Abuja. Olusheye Adiagbo has details.
Vaccinating 55 million residents of Nigeria by the end of January 2022 was the federal government's target. With sufficient vaccines to cover this mission, yet the country has only administered the jab to less than 9 million Nigerians with the first dose of COVID-19 vaccine. Debunking the recent news evolving around him on the internet, the Sultan of Sokoto linked the problem of vaccine hesitancy to misconceptions and fake news.
Because we really want to go all out to convince people about the COVID-19 pandemic and how to tackle it. We need to be much, much stronger than we were as we were fighting polio.
Vaccines are now available. It is now a question of people identifying where is the nearest place where they can actually get these vaccines. We believe that we'll be able to meet all of the targets that we've set as long as people also take the opportunity, realizing that we have now vaccinated over 8 million Nigerians.
This Northern Traditional Leaders Committee will also be using this meeting to review their engagement in improving primary health care in Nigeria in the outgoing year 2021 and charting a new course going into the new year. In Abuja, Olusheye Adiagbo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, has donated ophthalmic medical equipment to Al Basa International Foundation, operators of Makkah Specialist Eye Hospital in Kano, to support the foundation in its program on blindness control in Nigeria. Kenneth Nanim brings us details.
Al-Basar International Foundation Nigeria region is a non-governmental charitable organization working for the prevention of blindness with particular emphasis on Africa and Asia. Since its establishment in 1990, the foundation has established specialized eye hospitals and training institutes, as well as offering free mobile eye care services. Under the regional office in Nigeria and Niger Republic, Al-Basar International Foundation manages the Maka Specialist Eye Hospital Kano State, Maka Specialist Eye Hospital Bauchi, and Maka Specialist Eye Hospital Maradi in Niger Republic. 426,709 outpatients have been treated, 36,273 patients underwent surgery. The King Salman Humanitarian Aid and Relief Center, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, has donated eye care medical equipment to the foundation. The regional director of the foundation, Dr. Mohuddin Abdallah, appreciated this gesture and assured the Consul General that the equipment will be used judiciously for the intended purpose.
This medical equipment that we received from King Salman Center for humanitarian aid and relief, it included 4 equipment. The first one we call it the OCT machine. This we use in the examination and check of the posterior part of the eye, the retina and the choroid and the other posterior layers of the eye.
The donated equipment include OCT machine, tonometer, handheld keratometer, and corneal topography machine. Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
In other news, the federal government has set aside 5th of October every year as National Day of Senior Citizens. This was made known by the Minister of Interior, Rauf Aregbesola, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari at the first presidential summit on aging and awards. Joseph Otsen reports.
Nathaniel Okoro is the first indigenous managing director of the Nigerian Railway Corporation. Nathaniel and other senior citizens are being presented with awards for meritorious service to nation.
How can you make a difference? You must live a disciplined life. You must work hard. You must play hard, and you must keep straight.
They will, however, feel more honored and self-fulfilled with the federal government declaration of 5th October every year as National Day of Senior Citizens, in line with the United Nations International Day of Older People observed on 1st October annually.
Furthermore, there will be a progressive registration of all senior citizens of 60 years and above with the issuance of identity cards for ease of accessing considerable discounts and dignifying age-friendly treatments and courtesies in public services and spaces.
There is a consensus at this summit that the older persons deserve more care and attention.
The United Nations Sustainable Target of leaving no one behind means not only that all groups must progress so that gaps between marginalized groups such as the older persons and everyone else does not widen.
This is just the dawn of dignity being restored to senior citizens.
Launching of the National Policy on Aging, which presents a template to addressing needs of older persons, inclusiveness and enhancing opportunities for healthy aging, is among high points of the summit. In Abuja, Joseph Utsen, NTA News.
Strategies to make the presidential amnesty program more responsive to the needs of the people and improve the economic viability of the Niger Delta region is at the front burner. This follows an economic summit to harness the non-oil export potentials of the region and boost entrepreneurship amongst the amnesty beneficiaries, which held in Warri, Delta State. Austin Edemudu has more on the event.
The Economic Summit with the theme Restoring Wealth Creation in the Niger Delta region is being championed by the interim administrator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Milian Dizion Diko, with a new paradigm shift in training, employment, mentoring of beneficiaries, aside the regular 65,000 naira monthly stipends to the ex-agitators.
You need to secure the economy first. And so, if there is anything you are doing that does not contribute to securing the economy, you are on the wrong trajectory.
There is consensus amongst the resource persons that economic wastages, lack of transparency and accountability in the activities of some interventionist agencies in the region are major drawbacks to the desired development. They therefore challenged the participants to embrace agricultural entrepreneurship, formation of cooperatives, and engage in export activities to make the Niger Delta a regional economic power with global stake.
I've been able to, introduce to them that beyond oil, the region is rich in agricultural produce as well as solid minerals and other manufacturing opportunities.
There has to be a radical paradigm shift towards rehabilitation. It requires a lot of money. It requires that the economy is moving. It requires that after trading them, you need to be able to employ them.
For the participants, the summit is a stepping stone towards achieving a dream Niger Delta where equal economic opportunities and shared prosperity will thrive. I'm Austin Edemodu, NTA News.
And still in the Niger Delta, getting international assistance to complement the federal government's ongoing developmental interventions in the Niger Delta will bring about the much-needed stability and economic renaissance in the region. The Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, said this while playing host to Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations, Professor Tijani Bande, in his office. Joseph Johnson reports.
The challenges facing the Niger Delta may not be unknown to Nigeria's permanent representative to the United Nations, Professor Tijani Bande. But the minister, Senator Godswill Akpabio, didn't relent on reminding him on the issues still stifling development in the region. While highlighting the strides made so far by the federal government, the minister gave reasons for the need to have international interventions in some critical areas, including infrastructure, health, economy, environment, and skills acquisition for a possible post-amnesty era.
What we do in the Niger Delta is reflective of what we are as a country. If we treat the Niger Delta as a Nigerian issue, as a justice issue, as an integration issue, that is how we take Nigeria.
Dear Ambassador, we will say, as part of the mandate of the ministry, we are trying to harmonize the Niger Delta development plans. They had one in the NDDC, and then they also had one in the ministry. So we also require any assistance that we can get from any international body in that respect.
The duo were unanimous on the need to entrench peace in the region, as it is the bedrock upon which development would thrive. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Away from the Niger Delta now, the Federation Accounts Allocation Committee, FAC, has shared a total of 675.946 billion naira November 2021 Federation Accounts revenue to the federal government, states and local government councils. This was contained in a communique issued at the end of a virtual meeting of the committee for December 2021, signed by Henshaw Ogubike, Director, Information, Press and Public Relations, Office of the Accountant General of the Federation. The total distributable revenue comprised distributable statutory revenue of 488.674 billion naira, distributable value-added tax, VAT, revenue of 182.678 billion naira, exchange gain of 4.156 billion naira, and excess bank charges recovered of 438 million naira. In November 2021, the total deductions for cost of collection was 30.957 billion naira, and the total deductions for statutory transfers, refunds, and savings was 136.908 billion naira, while the balance in the excess crude account was $35.365 million. In the month of November 2021, the gross revenue available from VAT was higher than the month of October 2021 by 29.891 billion naira, and 5.65 billion naira from it was deducted as allocation to NEDC. According to the communique, in the month of November 2021, petroleum profit tax, PPT, oil and gas royalties, companies income tax, CIT, and value-added tax, VAT, increased remarkably. Also, import and excise duty increased marginally. Time to go to Lagos, and Adeola is there. Adeola, let's hear you.
Thank you, Nyere. Two prosecution witnesses Friday testified before the Lagos High Court Ikeja against Chukwudimeme Nwamadike, the kidnapped kingpin popularly known as Evans. Evans and his gang had kidnapped some Nigerians on the 23rd of June 2014 and were compelled to pay heavily before they regained their freedom. Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo of the Lagos High Court presided over the hearing. Diana Ajale has details.
The trial of the alleged kidnapped kingpin Chukwudimeme Onwamadike, popularly known as Evans, and 5 others, began in 2017 when he was charged to court. There have been standing trial on charges bordering on conspiracy and kidnapping. Following his many kidnappings, many witnesses, including victims, testified against him. At the resumed hearing at the Lagos State Special High Court, a couple, Mr. Silvanus Ahanonu and his wife, Chimebere, who are victims, testified against the defendants before Justice Oluwatoyin Taiwo of the Lagos High Court. Mr. Silvanus told the court that on the 23rd of June 2014, while returning home from his business arena in Kara Street, Ajawo Estate in Lagos, he was kidnapped by the defendants and was released after payment of a total of $420,000 to the kidnappers after negotiating from $1 million demand. Emmanuel Ochai is the counsel to the third defendant.
The trial is still ongoing, and at this stage we cannot say this or that about the assessment of the entire matter. Probably by the time the prosecution closes its case or at the end of the trial, but we're optimistic about the whole process.
Although the defendants pleaded not guilty, the case was adjourned to February 4, 2022 for further hearing. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
A 23-year-old water factory worker has joined the League of the Newest Millionaires in town. This is courtesy of Stanbic IBTC Reward Saving Promo. Kende Adebisi reports that more than 192 customers also benefited.
This is Ernest Chibuikem Iye, a 23-year-old water factory worker. Despite his major income, saving for the rainy days is still topmost in his agenda. Opening an account with Stanbic IBTC Bank was his best decision because little did he know he would be one of the lucky winners to emerge from the Reward for Saving promo.
Honestly, I want to say a very big thank you to Stanbic IBTC for this very opportunity. Right from the day I received the text message, I told my friends and my family about it. They've been so happy because it's something massive, honestly.
This money is like a blueprint for me to start up everything I want to do. I mean, it's a good capital to start off something. So Stanbic doesn't have to worry about whatever I want to do because the money is in good hands.
It will go a long way, and actually I'm going to invest with the money. It's going to go a long way in helping me doing a lot of things.
For the bank, it is a time to reward its customers and encourage the culture of saving amongst Nigerians, especially as the world is just recovering from the scourge of the pandemic.
Their loyalty can be said to have achieved its set goals and objectives. As we have more customers saving for rainy days today, what better way to end the year than this?
Like Ernest, these lucky winners are determined to sustain the saving culture, as this gesture from the bank, they say, will propel them to save more. In Lagos, Kende Adebisi, NTA News.
And we're done from here, but we will go on another break. The news will continue with NTA in Abuja after.
Day 17th of...
Now time to join Cynthia Ogun for a bit of sports.
Sports Minister Sunday Dare has been honored in his home state with an award of excellence by the Sports Writers Association of Nigeria, Oyo State chapter. The minister received the award at the semi-finals of the Oyo Swan five-a-side football tournament. The body commended the minister for his efforts in ensuring the renovation of key federal government-owned stadia across the country. In the meantime, Nigeria's Olympic family is repositioning to achieve more for the nation's sports sector. Stakeholders at a one-day annual general meeting of the Nigeria Olympic Committee in Yenegua, Bayelsa State, pledged to sustain efforts at growth and development for the industry for the good of the nation. Former Governor of Bayelsa State, Henry Seriake Dixon, has promised to encourage young men and women in the sports at the grassroots. He stated this at the unveiling of Nanaye Dixon Traditional Wrestling in Abuja.
The Henry Seriake Dixon Foundation continues to promote sports development, and particularly grassroots, community-based sports development.
To volleyball, action will resume in day 6 of the 2021 Nigeria Volleyball Premier League second phase on Saturday, as Friday is observed as rest day. In the men's fixtures, Nigeria Immigration hawk against Correctional Service, NSCDC Battle Chief of Army Spikers, Nigeria Police Force, and Sunshine Spikers lock horns with each other. Benway Queens and NSCDC will be up against each other, while Kada Emeralds settle scores with Nigeria Immigration in the women's fixtures. Finally, Arsenal will travel to Elland Road to face 16th place Leeds United in the March Day 18 of the English Premier League on Saturday. Steven Gerrard-led Aston Villa will welcome 18th place Burnley to Villa Park in a match that would be live on the network service of the NTA at 3:30 p.m. Some matches are postponed due to the adverse effects of COVID-19 pandemic on the players. On a sad note, the death has occurred of veteran broadcaster Dele Ojesekoba after a protracted illness. He hails from Edo State and was a distinguished reporter at Network Sports and NTA Benin before his retirement from service. With sports updates, Cynthia Ogun, NTA News.
Many thanks, Cynthia. The death has occurred of Mama Emily Sholakwe Olamide. She was aged 91. She will be buried tomorrow, Saturday, in Igbaraoke, Ondo State. Let's take a quick peep at the weather prospect for Saturday.
Glad to have you on Saturday's weather focus. We cool, dry northeasterly winds from Europe through North Africa. Nighttime and early morning temperatures are expected to drop slightly. As such, we expect thick dose haze over the northern region, while moderate dose haze over the northeast central down to the coastal cities of the south, with visibility range of 2 to 5 kilometers and localized visibility of less than 1,000 meters throughout the focus period. Early morning mist and fog patches should affect the coastal states of Nigeria, which will later lift at sunrise. Partly cloudy to cloudy conditions over the coastal belt of the country, with slim chances of localized thunderstorms over part of Akwa Ibom and Cross River. I remain Suleiman Green. Thank you for watching.
And that concludes NTA Network News tonight. Many thanks for watching, and please remember that the fight against rape and rapists is still on. Be a part of it. I'm Yen Ray John. Have a good night.